Well, it was going to happen sooner or later, wasn't it? Yep, it is time to modify an iPod. I have been looking to do this actually for the second time for quite a while now. The gentleman who really popularized this style of filming, Mr. Dank Pods, is very, very popular for doing this sort of thing, and I've wanted to do it for a while, and I figure as a good homage to him, might as well do it. But as I said, this was my second time because it is going to be my second or third time. This is my daily driver iPod here. It's a 7th generation. It's a 160 gig model. This is what I use most of the time whenever I'm listening to music in my car specifically. That's why I bought it. The phone that I had at the time was getting really, really hot whenever I was using Bluetooth, and living in South Louisiana in the summertime, I wanted something that wouldn't make my phone as hot. And also, I don't like getting phone calls whenever I'm listening to music. I want to be able to listen to my music and just my music. Served me very well. I've got a bunch of different music on here. I think I've got about like 10 or 12 gigs, nowhere near the limit of the 160 there, but I'm using it. It's doing great. But these things are old, man. They're getting older than they've ever been, and some of them are starting to have issues. So I wanted to modify one to be more reliable. And what I ended up doing was modifying this guy. So this is a modified 5th generation iPod, or the iPod Video, which is what some people call it. I swapped out the battery case, obviously, making it a black on the back, purple on the front, because purple is my favorite color. It doesn't have a hard drive. It is running flash storage, and that was about it. I bought the parts for these from Elite Obsolete Electronics. He's been doing it for a long time, and any kind of iPod parts or replacement iPods even, if you want to get them, go through him. Great guy. He's been hanging out, I know, on like iPod Discords and stuff, doing it since way before it was cool. But one of the things about this that I'm not a huge fan of is the shuffle feature. See, iPods are able to shuffle their playlists a lot, so you can go here and you can do shuffle songs, but once you shuffle something, you can't go back and then shuffle it later on, which is why I switched from this to the 7th gen iPod. That's why I switched to it, because while you're listening to music, you can just go in and put shuffle on and off. And I'm that type of guy where I'll listen to a song and then I want to change it. So I'll change the song and then I'll reshuffle the playlist kind of thing. That's usually what I'll do whenever I listen to music, because I'm a bit of a schizo whenever I do. But let's see about modifying one of these, because this is my daily driver, but it's not the only one that I have. I actually have two. This was the first one that I bought after I bought that 5th generation, and I used it for a while, but the screen had some damage to it, and I didn't feel like changing out the screen at the time, and I found a really, really good deal on this one, so I just figured I'd go ahead and swap it. Made this guy purple, like I said, favorite color, but I'm not a huge fan of it, so I'm going to be modifying it to be a little bit different. What I'm basing it off of, actually, is the U2 iPod. They made a special edition, 4th generation U2 iPod. Has a black front, black back, red click wheel, and the signatures of the members of U2 on the back. It was only available in 30 gigabyte models, so that's part of why I didn't just get one of those to use. But I'm really interested to see how these turn out. All right, let's see here. Alrighty, so I'm all gloved up. I got my tools here. But let's talk about what we're actually going to be doing to this iPod. We're going to be doing a faceplate swap. We're going to be swapping the click wheel, transferring it to flash storage instead of having the hard drives, and swapping the back plate. This is my box of things from Elite Obsolete. Let's see what we got in here. So this is also a battery upgrade that I'm going to be doing. This is a very skinny battery, because what I want to do is try to keep the thin form factor of these guys, because they are thin, and they're great to just slip into your pocket if you want to listen to music. So I want to upgrade the battery of it, but keep it skinny. These are little pry tools that actually come with the orders that you get from them. They're really helpful if you don't have anything else. I've got an iFixit kit here that I'll be using, but these are still really great. I just recommend wearing gloves. That's also part of why I do it. Not only because if you're dealing with the screen, you don't want to get fingerprints on them, but these things will absolutely cut your hands if you don't have some kind of protection on them. Okay, so here's the faceplate. Solid black, metal. It's very nice. Always want to do the metal stuff. It feels much more premium. Here's the back plate. Right, 256 gigabytes of storage capacity is what we're going to be running. And we've got the headphone jack and stuff pre-installed because I really didn't want to fight with transferring it from the other one. We've got the purple click wheel and the black center button, which is going to go and hopefully make it look really nice. I'm very excited to see. So in that list of parts, one of the things you did not see was storage. That's because I'm actually just going to be ripping it out of this guy, because I'm not going to have a need for it to have storage anymore. It's really just going to sit on my shelf and be a collector piece, really. This is just the first kind of big thing that I modded, so that's really what we're going to do. If you've never worked on iPods before, One of the interesting things about them is there's plastic clips that go all the way around, and those are the things that you need to undo in order to get the faceplates off for these 5th gens and any of them that have a plastic front. The metal ones, like the 6th gen, the 7th gen, and anything else that has like a metal faceplate is a lot harder to do because you've got to try to get the metal clips removed, but they don't snap on and off like plastic. You have to kind of bend them and bend the case of it, which actually, if you look at the official like iFixit guide for these things, if you're working on the 6th and 7th gen, it just says bend the case and then bend it back whenever you're done, because it's easier than trying to fight with it for any length of time. But let's see if we can get this guy open here. Also, very important tip, if you're going to be doing this, make sure that your hold switch is not on. If it's like that, whenever you open the thing, if you can see the red part, you're going to break it whenever you open it, so be sure to turn that off. Alrighty, so we can take the click wheel and faceplate apart now. So whenever you're working on these, you got the little battery tab right here. Just lift it up, pull it out. And this is what's going to be responsible for our storage. This is called an iFlash kit. They make a bunch of different kinds of them. This is the iFlash Solo. They make one called the iFlash Quad, which is a lot skinnier than this and is the one that's recommended if you're trying to do battery mods on the skinny iPods, but I'm gonna see if I can get away with not using it. And it just uses micro SD cards or SD cards. This one has in it, hopefully, yes, a 256 gig card, so I'll be able to do it. I was looking through my holder and didn't find one, but that's all right. That's our storage. We'll set that guy over here. And if you ever wanted to see what the front of the iPod looked like, I'll show you really quick here. So that's what the front of the iPod looks like. You got your screen, you got your click wheel, all of the buttons that are responsible for it on the sides here, and your middle button, of course. And that's it. And you got your contacts and not much to it. Pretty simple to take these things apart, and they're pretty easy to repair too, which is nice. But unfortunately, now that they're such big collector items, it's a lot harder to get parts for them, and they're just really expensive to get. So if you're trying to get a working one, you're looking at like maybe around like 150 bucks. But if you want to upgrade it or get something like this going on, you're going to be pushing like 200, 250 really easy. So we're going to set that to the side for now. And we're going to get working on the main guy, this guy right here. Funny story about this, part of the reason I put it off was because I needed to replace the screen and wasn't able to find one for a while. And now the screen just works. And there used to be big like black scratch marks here, and now there's just not. So I don't know what happened, but I guess it just kind of healed itself on the way. So like I had said before, these are very, very annoying to get apart, really, not to get anything in particular, but just to get apart, they're quite annoying. So what you'll see me do is using a bunch of these pry tools to try and open it and get it apart, because you kind of have to do that. And once you get one of the clips done, you can kind of skirt your way around it and get it open. But if you're ever working on this on your own, you're going to be fighting with it for a while. So just be patient. It'll come on its own. Oh. And then you have that happens. You'll do one thing and you'll take like 4 of them off, which is annoying, but is what it is. Yeah, come on. I also don't want to damage any of the internals in this thing, but I can hear scraping noises, so that's always a fun thing to deal with. Nope, nope. Okay, doesn't want to. Alrighty. Please, come on. Oh, there we go. Okay, he's free. He's free! Now that you got the back off, the hardest part, you'll go back and you'll disconnect your battery down here. Now we've got the inside of the iPod. So this stuff up here, a lot of these clips kind of got bent. So if you can, try not to do that, but if you're replacing the whole thing anyway, it's not that big of a deal. That's kind of where I'm going with it. This is your motherboard, this is your hard drive. These are the tiny little Toshiba-made hard drives that Apple worked with and used it for the iPod. So you'll have this little black ribbon cable down here, and you're going to flip this guy up, and that'll take the tension off of it, and now your hard drive is out. Now this connector is your headphone jack. So in our case, what we're going to do is we're just going to uninstall it. So we're just going to take this little brown piece here, flip it up, pull the ribbon cable out. And now, for my case, this is completely useless. I don't need this for really anything. But if you are salvaging your parts, reusing your parts to save a little bit of money, which I don't blame you for, then this stuff is going to want to be reused. A lot of this stuff, like the battery, a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, or some heat from a heat gun, not too much, would be able to get the adhesive off of this, so you can get it out from the back of the case. or this headphone jack here, if you wanted to replace that for whatever reason, you would have to undo a couple screws and get the adhesive off as well, along with this little piece of tape. I'm not going to be doing that because I don't need to transfer the headphone jack, but it's there if you want to do it, and there's a bunch of different videos that can teach you how to do it. And I'll actually link one of DankPod's, because he made a video going through each generation of iPod and changing them and fixing them, so I'll put that there if you want to do this on your own, you can get what you need. So, moving back to the main guy, what we've got to do is take off the faceplate, and you'll see there are some Phillips head screws on the side here. We're going to be taking those off, and that'll undo the faceplate so we can take it off completely. And top tip for any time you're working on electronics or small things like this, always order your screws. Label them, order them, organize them in some way. It will save you a whole lot of headache whenever you go to put something back together. Okay, so that's all the screws done. Now we can take off the faceplate. Might have to work at it a little bit here. The metal stuff doesn't really want to come apart that easy, but let's see. That one's not really working too well. Let's see if we can use this guy to get them separated easier. Oh, there we go. There we go. Whoop, hello. It is crazy just how much technology they were able to put into these iPods, man. Because, I mean, for 2008, to have a media player that could hold, you know, so that's 160 gigabytes worth of songs. That's easily 20,000 songs. 20,000 songs just on this little device in the palm of your hand. Rechargeable battery, sync to iTunes and everything. And it really is hard to state, especially like if you didn't grow up in that time period, and I didn't even grow up in that time period, but it really is hard to emphasize just how big a deal iTunes was whenever it came to, you know, changing media players. All right, so this is our old faceplate. Don't need it anymore. Now the iPod 6th and 7th gen are a little bit different whenever it comes to the click wheel and whatnot, because it is actually built into the housing a little bit more. See how the cable goes like around? There's also a grounding pad that's attached to it. But in order to change this, we're going to undo this little connector down in here. It might be a little bit hard to see, but there's a black tab in there that you're going to flip up. Once it pops up like that, all you'll need to do is remove it. And these can be very annoying because they actually have an adhesive placed on them as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take off the screen, which is flipping up that little ribbon cable. There we are. So that is the screen. We'll set that off to the side. All right, so now we got the click wheel removed. Let's go ahead and reinstall that screen. We might be able to actually put in the new click wheel first. There we go. Okay. So we'll put the click wheel back on like so. And there, that's what our click wheel is going to look like. We'll take the plastic off real quick and get that idea going there. And we'll do our center button now. Let's see if I can get it actually in there to show you. It's difficult to work with these parts a little bit because they're not adhesive together for the click wheel and the center button, so you got to kind of finagle some stuff around. What I've found to be the most useful is flipping it upside down sideways, getting it connected, you know, like this, and then flipping the whole thing over, and then you can just do one of those, and now you have it ready. Now it moved a little bit, but that's okay because we're at least just getting the idea of what it's going to look like here. Very important bit is the metal reflector panel. Get our screen back in place. Hopefully not break anything. Oh wait, I'm an idiot. No, I was putting it on wrong. Never mind. Never mind. Let's see. So we'll slot this guy back in here. And we'll drop the screen on the floor. Yeah, she's in good shape. She's all right. Important little detail about putting the screen in is that these two guys are supposed to go on top, right? These two little white bits are supposed to fit in there. So that's a good indication that your screen is on correctly. We'll stick that guy back into his little ribbon cable housing and close down the tensioner and clean this guy up a little bit so we can put the faceplate on. That's also why I usually do the latex gloves, because it's a lot easier to get something like that done. You can just use the fingers of them. Let's see. So let's peel this guy off. How do we get this one off? A lot of these guys have a protective like foam cutout here, but you'll just take them, peel them off. And I can't tell if there's a screen protector on this guy or not. I don't think there is. Now comes the fun part of putting the click wheel and everything together with the faceplate. So what I'm going to try to do is try to slide it into the faceplate like this. Well, that's actually working quite well. And then we'll be able to... Well, there we go. There it is. Look at that. Yeah, that click wheel's not sat right. Hold on. There we go. That's looking better. That's looking much better. Okay, cool. So yeah, now we'll put the screws back in to make sure that we've got everything secure and nice and tight. And pro tip, whenever you're screwing something in, always go in a star pattern so that way you evenly distribute pressure. So that was the last screw. Now we've got our guy pretty much assembled, but what we need to do is reconnect our storage first. That's what we're going to do, is reconnect our storage. The foam that came off of the screen protector, or came off the back of the faceplate, we're going to use that as a little bit of a protection for the plastic. And one of the things about this that is really important is to make sure that you have this ribbon cable for the hard drive all the way in there before you drop the tensioner down, because they can be really finicky and they're so small, so if you have like 1 or 2 pins that's not all the way in there, it'll start giving you grief and not wanting to work properly. That should be pretty in there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take, this is the battery from the 5th generation, we're going to hook it up, see if she turns on. Oh, that's a good sign, a good sign. Connect to iTunes to restore. Okay, so what'll happen if you ever do this on your own is once you get your iPod hooked up, once you get your iPod all reassembled, and if you put new storage into it, you're going to have to connect it to your computer for iTunes. And so what'll happen, let's see, is it'll probably ask you to reformat it, and then you're going to have to restore it. So what that means is you will have to use iTunes to get your iPod recognized again and get your storage back. So what I'm going to do here is go on my PC that I got in front of me with my wireless keyboard here, and let's see what we can do. Aha, okay, so yeah, what it'll say on your computer is it'll say iTunes has detected an iPod in recovery mode. You must restore it before it can be used. And you'll click the little restore iPod button. There we go, and it'll talk to it. And this is the part that could take a while, because it could take a, well, I've had it take like 15 or 20 minutes just to restore the iPod, but it seems to be going pretty far along, so right now. You can do this with a Mac. I'm doing it with a PC that has an older version of iTunes, because that seems to be more reliable for it, for me at least. But sometimes with these flash cards, it gets really annoying and it doesn't want to restore it, and you'll have to go into disk utility on a Mac, get it to recognize it a specific way, and then try to restore it. But it all depends on what happens. I've seen that happen with a 5th generation that I modified with my younger cousin, and then I've seen that happen a little bit with the 3rd generations too, but it all depends on what you're working with. Oh, okay, it's doing something. Your iPod has been restored to factory settings and is restarting. Leave your iPod connected. There we go, okay. Okay, all right. Not a great sign, but you know what? We're going to disconnect the battery and we're going to plug it back in. Use iTunes to restore. Okay, we can do that. All right, we can. Okay, it's just sitting here. All right, you know what? We're just gonna let it, because I want to take a look at this. So we're gonna set this guy over here a little bit. This is the back plate that I got, and it's redone to have the 256 because they never actually made them with 256 on there. But this is gonna be a special version of it. So there we go. Hello. Okay, all right. Well, let's see. I don't have the headphone jack connected. Maybe that's throwing something off. So let's see what I can do here. There's a battery, and we'll undo this stuff to get back to the headphone jack. Okay, that's headphone jack reattached. Let's see, we'll put this back in. I really hope this isn't chalked in some way. I really hope that it's working fine. No, okay. Wonderful. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, I know this battery works. I know that this one works. Okay. Okay, turns on. Do not disconnect. Okay to disconnect. Okay. Okay. Okay, bad start. All right, we'll disconnect the battery. I'm going to reformat the flash drive, or the flash card, and we'll see what happens. So hold switch on? Oh, I do have a hold switch on. Okay, that might be doing something about it. Okay. We're just gonna trial and error this, I guess, until it figures out what's going on. Okay, we got back to iTunes. iTunes has detected a pod in recovery mode. Yes. Restore it. Yes. Could not be restored. What the? What do you mean could not be restored? What are you talking about, man? It's saying there's an iPod connected. There is no iPod connected. How? What is happening? Okay, kill it. Kill iTunes. Just, it will run as administrator this time. Okay, Windows does not recognize that the iPod is plugged in. If iTunes recognizes that the iPod is plugged in, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because that doesn't make any sense. Okay, we've got iTunes back. We have iTunes back. iTunes is back alive and well. And somehow this screen from this faceplate from Elite Obsolete is scratched, but that's besides the point. So we're gonna disconnect the battery from the pod. We're gonna reconnect the battery to the pod. Use iTunes to restore. Connecting to iTunes. Oh, my computer made a beep. Okay, it sees that it's there. Detecting the iPod in recovery mode. Okay, restore the iPod. Okay, it's a good sign. Do not disconnect. Restoring iPod on the main PC. Please let this work. Haven't been troubleshooting that long, but I'd like to not have to do it anymore. Okay, okay, Apple logo. That's a good thing. Oh, there we go. Cool, okay. No music. All right, let's plug her in and see if we can get something put on there and see if we can play a little bit of music, huh? Connected, good sign. Okay to disconnect, but I didn't disconnect you. I didn't do anything with you. iTunes didn't even see that you got plugged in. Okay, yeah, there we go. Synchronizing. iTunes is now frozen. Please. Ah, yes, welcome to your new iPod. All right, cool. The sync is complete. Eject before disconnecting. Eject. It's got music on it. Okay, hold on. Ooh, that is a loose headphone jack, but you know what? That's okay. Play. Yeah, it works. It works just fine. I can't play it for you, unfortunately, because everything I have on there is copyrighted music, and I don't have any way to project it onto my into my microphone. But it works. It works. So let's see. Let's put that hold switch on. Let's turn her off, and let's get it closed up. Close it up here a little bit. Doesn't look like it. Oh, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. No on the big bat. No on the big battery, because this iFlash Solo is just too fat for it. Well, I guess that means we're getting this guy out. Alrighty. Now let's connect this guy and see what happens. Stick him down here. Okay, turning back on. There we go. Okay, pretty low charge, but you know what? That's all right. So, all right, I think it's time to close them up finally. There we go. Oop, nope, Dave Barnes. No, we don't need to play any Dave Barnes right now. There we go. My ultimate, quote unquote, iPod. Had to sacrifice a little bit for the battery change, but you know what? That's all right, because I run a iPod with a normal battery every day anyway. So not a huge change for me, but I'm still very proud of it. I think it looks fantastic. But anyway, that will wrap it up for this video. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I was so excited to do this. I'm happy you guys stuck along for the ride and watched me do this and hopefully learned a little bit if you wanted to do it for yourself. But in the next video, something I'm going to be doing is kind of insane. Let me grab it, I'll show you. Do you remember whenever I recorded that fighting game controller a while back? It was kind of like the first video of this style I did on the channel. Well, I wanted to do something else, do a round 2, and I bought this. This is the same model as that original fight stick, but it actually has a stick on it, so you can play more proper fighting games, I suppose, if you want to put it that way. But I'd like to mod this and do a little bit heavier mod. I want to combine this with this somehow. Haven't exactly worked out all the details as to how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to make it happen. So yeah, stay tuned for that. That's probably going to be the next video on the channel, and I hope you guys are excited for it. I'll see you on the next one.